What's happening, people? I hope you're all well. So, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Please consider this to be the opinion of a complete stranger online. Please be responsible when competing in the markets. So, Moses Itauma and Dillian White are going to be fighting each other. I believe it takes place next week. And I want to talk about the angle that we should take as gamblers in order to generate profit from this situation. So we need to look at the fact that Dillian White is, I believe, 37 years old, and Moses Itauma is 20 years old. That's a phenomenal age gap. Now, the pros of that, obviously experience. The cons of that is obviously with age, your body begins to deteriorate, and obviously your energy levels are not the same. I can definitely attest to that. You know, my energy levels at the age, let me make sure my microphone's on properly. Is it on properly? Yeah, I'm good. I can definitely attest to the fact that my energy levels at the age of 31 are not the same as 21. And I hear it only goes downhill. So yeah, Dillian White is not going to have the same energy levels that he once did. And he's unlikely to have the same energy levels as Moses Itauma, which can translate in a boxing ring as intensity, tenacity, and explosiveness. I think both of these guys are probably around the same height. I know Moses Itauma is listed at about 6'2". I think that's pretty accurate. On the other hand, Dillian White has always been listed at 6'4". For me, he's not 6'4", he's closer to 6'2". And I think that Dillian White is, Dillian White being the orthodox, Moses Itauma being the Southpaw, that creates an interesting element to this fight. I have never really seen Dillian White fight a Southpaw. Apparently he fought one when he was on the come up prior to the Joshua fight. Apart from when Tyson Fury switched Southpaw a few times, I've yet to really see Dillian White against a Southpaw. But ultimately, as gamblers, what we care about is generating profit from any given situation. So Dillian White has shown a deteriorating chin. In my opinion, Dillian White has shown a deteriorating chin. His chin has been deteriorating probably since the first Chisora fight. He took a lot of punishment against Anthony Joshua but showed a good chin. And then he went on to fight Derek Chisora, who many are claiming is one of the hardest, if not the hardest puncher in the heavyweight division. And I can believe that, and he was taking Chisora's shots in the first fight. And I think his chin has been declining though. He was hurt against Marius Wax slightly. He was hurt against Robert Helenius by a really innocuous looking shot. He was hurt against Alexander Povetkin, well, knocked out against Alexander Povetkin. He was hurt against Jermaine Franklin, who, for all intents and purposes, is not known as a puncher. He was actually hurt against Christian Hammer in their fight in the first round. Many people haven't actually noticed that. And so, long story short, Dillian White's been getting hurt regularly. And Moses Itauma, I don't think he's a monstrous puncher, but I think he hits hard enough, and it's also the speed. So when you combine him hitting hard enough, and then he's also got the speed to go with it, and Dillian White has always had slow reactions, I think he's going to catch Dillian White. I think he's going to hurt Dillian White. Dillian White, though, has always been a determined guy, a guy with heart. And so he's not going to go in there. And especially, you know, when you're sparring someone a lot younger than you, or if you're fighting someone a lot younger than you, there may be this tendency in older fighters to think, nah, I'm not letting this young cat have his way with me. I think Dillian White's going to have that attitude against Moses Itauma. He's probably looking at Moses Itauma like a kid. Apparently Moses Itauma is younger than Dillian White's, one of Dillian White's children. So he's going to be looking at Moses Itauma like a kid. No, I'm not going to let this kid have his way with me. And you couple that with the fact that Dillian White has always had a punch on him. He's always had respectable power, especially in the left hook. He hurt Joshua with that left hook. He hurt Parker with the left hook. You know, dropped Parker with the left hook. Knocked out Lucas Brown with the left hook. So I solemnly believe that Dillian White is a live dog in this fight, and he's dangerous. That being said, he hasn't looked the same as of late. He has not looked the same as of late. He's looked slower, more lethargic, and he was never fast to begin with. His deteriorating punch resistance as well to go with it. Moses Itauma's on the come up. He's the house fighter. But when I look at, you know, Moses Itauma, someone with respectable power himself and the speed to go with it. When I look at someone like Moses Itauma who's on the ascendancy, when I look at someone like Moses Itauma who I think could go on to do great things, and then I look at someone like Dillian White who's had his moments, he's dangerous, he has dog in him. I believe that as gamblers, the best way to approach this fight is to forget who's actually going to win and just look at the fact that you've got a young guy who is going to go for the jugular. He's going to go for the knockout. He's not trying to win this fight on points. He's not going to try and fill Dillian White out. Then you got Dillian White, who he's got dog in him. Yes, he can be technical sometimes, but that aside, he will go for it. And he's up against a young guy who he's not going to want to get embarrassed against by getting knocked out. So I think the best way to approach this fight is to place a bet on this fight. Simply not to go the distance. That's my opinion. As gamblers, the best way to profit from this situation is to place a bet on this fight, not going the distance. And that way, if Dillian White upsets the apple cart with a left hook and knocks Moses Itauma out, you're in profit. But on the other hand, if Moses Itauma does what many expect him to do, and he goes out there and he stops Dillian White early in devastating fashion, then you're in profit. So I think the best bet to place is I think the best bet to place is this fight simply not to go the distance. But obviously, just keep in mind, if the fight hears the end of the final bell, then, you know, we lose all our money. So that's always the risk that you take in those type of bets. But that's honestly the bet that I believe is the best bet to take in this situation. Anyway, let me know what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I make a new video. If you appreciate my work and want to leave a donation, there's a link for that in the description. And with that, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one.